Welcome, my beautiful people, to this weekend review. During this weekend reviews, I typically go to give you a summary of the key activities, achievements, and challenges that we had for the past week. And this is the first week of 2024, and it has started off with a bang. So I have a lot to cover. I am not going to answer any questions from the past week. So I apologize, those of you that left me a question. I promise you I will get back to you. I will either do it through the platform, in written form, or next week, I'll cover it next week. But let me start with sales and revenue. This week's sales came in at $92,214.97. Our other fees came in at $11,188.82. Our booking sources for this week, Airbnb took the top spot at 52.9%. Our direct booking site came in at 24.3%. Marriott came in third at 10%. Booking.com came in at 4.3%. And other OTAs came in at a total of 8.6%. So, progress report, as I mentioned, we're in the staging phase for our Miami property. We're in the photo stage, meaning the last thing we're doing in our Fort Lauderdale apartments. Those will be completed, or they're completed, and we're going to do photos Monday or Tuesday, depending on the weather. We've been having very bad weather lately. So it depends on the weather, whether or not will depend on when we take these pictures. Our property in Georgia, I don't know if I mentioned it before, where we did the inspection of the property. Property came back clean, so we're moving forward. We're waiting on the appraisal, and we'll see what happens with the appraisal. Our property in Central Florida, we're completely done. It's just now a matter of figuring out what we're going to do with the property. And then stuff that's pending. We have a lot of things that we're going to be doing within the next month or so, but that's what we had pending in the past. Team news and personnel, nothing to report today. Upcoming goals and plans. The biggest goals that we have going into 2024 is optimizing and refining our processes and procedures. I do that monthly. We really want to streamline a lot of the stuff, because I anticipate 2024 to be a very, very good year. If you saw our prediction video for 2024, you're going to see that we firmly believe that in 2024, the STR game is going to be back to what it was in 2019. Not where it was in 21 and 22, because again, I'm going to repeat myself, those were anomalies. We're not going to see those type of numbers, but we will stabilize, and I believe that the market is going to be what it was back in 2019. And which is really where I want the market to be. We were doing very well with the market back then, so we're looking to get there. Here's another thing, and I've been saying this over and over again. In 2024, two things are going to happen in 2024, and I am the type of person that I'm very optimistic. If I believe that something's going to happen, I go all in. So two things I believe are going to happen in 2024. Number one is I think the interest rates are going to go down. And as a result of the interest rates going down, we're going to see a lot of movement in real estate. That movement is going to cause real estate values to go up. Hence why we doubled down in December, and in December specifically, but going into January on acquisitions. I want to try to acquire as much as I can now before things get crazier than what they've been. I don't think there's a lot of people that are predicting a massive recession, which I believe that's probably going to, overall picture, I think we're probably, I don't know if we're going to be in a recession, but things are not going to look good. They might get worse before getting better. But in the real estate market specifically, we haven't seen the crash that everybody's been anticipating. And I don't see anything that's indicating that we will see a crash. Because if you follow the Fed they don't plan on increasing rates, number one. In fact, they plan on reducing rates. And by reducing the rates, all those people that have been waiting, because I don't know why people wait to buy real estate. You should buy real estate and wait, not the other way around. But all those people that have been waiting on the sidelines for the rates to go down, to jump into the real estate market, they're going to do so in Q1. So Q2, like I said, I anticipate that there's going to be an increase or continued increase in property values. Hence why I'm buying. If you're out there on the market and you're buying, I think you're going to look back and say, thank God I did. So, but anyways, moving on. Issues and challenges. This is where I want to spend some time on. Okay, well, I'm going to start with the first issue that we had this week, and it was a guest in one of our properties had their car broken into. Now, and had some stuff stolen. Safety for us is paramount for our guests, right? Number one is we want to ensure that our guests are safe. If you are a short-term rental operator, that should be your number one concern as well, right? Make sure that your guests are safe and you're taking all the precautions to keep them safe. Having said that, and I hate to place blame, this is not going to sound good because I'm going to kind of place blame on the guest. I don't really care what market you're in. You should not leave any valuables in a car, but more importantly, I get it. So I get when people have an early flight and they want to be prepared to leave the house and get to the airport so they can catch that early flight. But I think it's a big mistake to pack your car with all your belongings the night before you catch that early flight. You're only inviting someone to come by to glance inside your car and to see that it's loaded with luggage. It's loaded with valuables. That's an invitation for those individuals that are out there looking to victimize people. Specifically, or in particular, you guys need to understand that there are criminals out there that specifically target short-term rentals because they know a lot of you guys do this, right? It's just like you should never leave your car door open, or you should never leave your house open, you should lock it, etc. Don't leave valuables in your car. You're just inviting someone to come in, and even if they're not targeting you, it's a crime of opportunity. Don't do that. Well, in this case, that happened. But if you're a short-term rental operator, you should have policies and procedures in place that you need to follow when these things happen. So for example, for us, this is our protocol. The moment that we get advised of a incident, and like this one, or any incident that involves the police, then the first thing we do is we reach out to the guest and ascertain and make sure that the guests are okay. Your priority number one is and should be the guest. So reach out to them, send them an email, send them a phone call, make sure they're okay, ask what they need, and help them and support them during an incident like this, right? It is a traumatic incident for some people because most people are not used to being victims of crimes. So it's a traumatic incident. Show empathy to your guests. Make sure that you're there for them and make sure they get everything they need. Even if the guest blames you for the incident, right? Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you need to show empathy and you need to be there and support them during this time of need, right? Next, You need to make sure you do document the incident, what time it happened, when it happened. If you have security cameras, pull the security cameras. Make sure you document properly the incident. If the police are involved, make sure you get the police report and keep that with your files. That should be the basics of what you should be doing. In addition, it may be wise that you offer some type of refund to the guest, inconvenience refund. Try to mitigate the damage, and and the reason I say try to mitigate the damage, because again, it's really unfortunate when these incidents happen, and oftentimes they're beyond your control. You've done everything, you have security cameras, you have security lighting, you provided everything that needed to be done, but yet bad things are going to happen. Even though, I'm going to repeat myself, even though this incident had nothing to do with you, you should still reach out to that guest and offer some type of compensation or something so that guest can leave with something positive in mind. The last thing you want to do, and you're not going to prevent them from writing a negative review, and anticipate them writing a negative review. So when they write the review, make sure you're ready to respond to that review. But when you respond to the review, again, show empathy, don't make excuses, and explain what steps you took and what steps you're taking to prevent these incidents from happening. All right, enough on that one. The second thing I want to talk about in terms of challenges for short-term rental operators are when incidents like weather-related incidents happen. Same thing this week. We had a tornado, which is uncommon for South Florida, or especially for the Fort Lauderdale area. We had a tornado strike in Fort Lauderdale, and specifically where we have guests. Now, tornadoes come suddenly. There's very little you can do to prepare for them. So what I'm going to talk about doesn't necessarily apply to tornadoes, but they apply to weather or Mother Nature creating chaos within your property. I'm in South Florida. Hurricanes are a big thing. You should have protocols in place for when these natural disasters are coming or when they get here. So for example, we had the warnings that there were tornado watch in the area. We sent out that warning to our guests. We ascertain where our guests are, and we let them know that they need to notify us if there's any incident. In this particular case, thank God, nothing happened to our guests. Our guests weren't even at the property. We told them to not go back to the property since they weren't there, to wait till the warning passes before they go back. But those protocols need to be in place. Again, warning happens, or you're being advised by the weather advisories. You need to pass those advisories on to your guests. Don't assume that they're paying attention, because oftentimes they're not. Pass that on to them. Once the weather passes by, reach out to them again, make sure they're safe, and then send somebody to the property to make sure that there are no damages. And if there are damages, make sure you report them. Okay? That's the last thing we're going to talk about. If you want to learn more about policies and procedures, then do me a favor, subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, hit the notification bell so that you get notified when these weekend reviews come out or when any of my videos come out. Follow me on Instagram. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.